Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Game of Thrones Winter's Coming. In today's episode we are going to take a look at the latest patch that has hit the servers. I believe the patch hit 2 days ago, and it involves a lot of different things and some quite drastic changes to the game that's coming as well. But obviously the more simple one is the fact that Jana now has the Awakening completed as well, so we have a look at that later on in this video. Of course, there's a overhaul to the Champion City Siege or CCS system, in the sense that now your troops are wounded instead of being killed, and even if it's exceeding your hospital capacity, then your troops will still be wounded, but you will not be able to leave the kingdom that you're in as long as you can't heal down below your healing capacity, or hospital capacity rather. And now it's only possible to have one champion conqueror in each alliance, so you can't really stack on different battlefields, and I think it's just so that it's possible for more alliances to get the title, and the developers are trying to make it more acceptable for people to join in, because beforehand it was only a rather low amount of people joined in because people or the troops would die, and now they've changed it so that it's only wounded in hopes of having more people join in on an event. Then there's of course some improvements in terms of troop appearance, commander weapon, and other stuff that we are going to take a look at in this game, or this update video of course, so let's jump right into it. So we'll start out with the Awakening for Jana, and it's fairly simple. It's standard Awakening like everybody else has been going through, with the different cooldown decreases, increases to the skill damage, and of course friendship increase in Tavern, as well as the max level increase and so on. Nothing really special in that regard. In terms of hidden ability, she's focused around care defense, wood production, city wood capacity, and wood gathering apparently, so that's something that can be useful for those that are into that, I suppose, for wood accounts and stuff like that. She's also generally a good rebel leader, commander, so it's a shame they didn't go in that direction, giving her Awakening some sort of rebel leader benefit or something like that. Could have been really interesting. But the developers decided to go this route instead. Her Awakening skill is a passive Awakening skill, in the sense that you can apply a 3% total health for each 4-star awakened female commanders that you have, up to a maximum of 30%, which means that once you have 10 awakened 4-star female commanders, then you have the maximum amount of total health that you can gain from it. It's basically just a female version of the Rob one, I believe, so nothing really super special about that, but it's passive stats, which is really nice, I guess, and now we have the potential to get 60% total health based on Awakenings alone, if you combine this one that she has combined with the Rob one, so that's fairly decent and nice, and I don't think that's terrible. I just find it a shame they didn't go for the rebel leader route, since she's so highly used in that. So, next up we can take a look at some of the stuff related to the CCS, or Champion City Siege, and to that we will start looking into the customization, where you can see that we have the A, S and SS token as usual, and now they have added the SP token as well. And SP tokens are pretty darn broken in my opinion. You can just look at the appearance here alone. Has total health, enemy total attack reduction, total defense, more enemy total attack reduction, and even more enemy total reduction. So I believe it's like 78% enemy total attack reduction that we have there, so from that alone that's a pretty huge amount. Probably the strongest one that we have in the game right now. And then max defense troops is increased by 2 million as well, so obviously this is geared towards max accounts, or accounts that are just like needing something to do. It's not something that will be normal people get access to. And why is that, you might ask? And that's because when we look at the Champion City Siege, you can see when we look in the rules that champions rewards have changed in the sense that now that the one that's ranked number 1 will get the 20 SP tokens that we have, then on the one that's second is getting the 8 ones, and then the third one is getting 4. So they have changed out the system in City Siege because of this. I think they also added in the tokens to make it more interesting for people to join in and try and contest for getting these tokens. Just the fact that normal people will not be anywhere near getting this. This is only like high-end stuff probably. I don't really believe anyone else can get their hands on it unless they start changing up the tiers, how they split up people in Champion City Siege, but it's impossible to really balance out. So they've added like this new customization reward as part of the new City Siege system. And then of course the rules and everything is pretty much standard aside from what I told you about with the wounded troops now instead of killing everything, and overall changes in terms of only having one champion conqueror in an alliance and so on. So I think it's an interesting change. I will not say if it's a good or bad change. That really takes some time to see how it really impacts. I don't know how the token system either works, because you did get tokens for killing your troops in it. Now I'm not sure if you still do that if you get wounded, or if that's now only for Glorious Battle and KVK related. I'm not even sure if, I think KVK is also included in that. But yeah, that's kind of like the majority in this part. Lastly, in this update we also had some small changes to the weapons, and you can see now they have changed in the weapons in categories. So you can see for infantry, cavalry, spearmen, bow, and then others. I'm not sure why Kravis is here. He should probably be on the bow. Others could probably be something that's passive, because I know that Sorin is passive, I know Sheila is passive. Annie is not passive, she's total, so I'm not really sure, like same with Sek and so on. Sek's weapon was supposed to come out this patch, but has been postponed to a future update, and supposedly we can get him through the Amethyst shop, similarly to how we got his tokens. So will probably be the same way in the future at some point once things are ready in that regard. Nothing really huge about that. But it's nice to keep in mind that in the future they plan to release this weapon in that regard or in that way. Then we've also been revealed information about John's weapon, which gives a 5% normal attack damage reduction once you have the sword at level 1, and then at level 4 it gives another 5% attack reduction, and increases also the critical hit damage by 30% instead of having it by 150%, so it goes up to 180%. Overall, really interesting. I suppose I expected a bit more, considering that Thursday's weapon is absolutely broken and John seems a little bit meh in comparison. Peter's also fairly broken, so from out of these three I would probably say John's probably the weakest, and I can't really see how he fits in. Like, he's so contested in the setup that he has, so you can argue if Sander gets a good weapon that he might actually push John out of this bleed setup, but that's something that we can see in the future. But this pretty much covers the majority of the patch that we just had. Hope you liked the video. Like and comment if you want to, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you're new to the game, then there's going to be a link down in the description below, as well as for the Game of Thrones Discord group, in case you need help with stuff or just want to talk with people. It's usually a nice place and people are fairly helpful there, and there's also a bunch of guides and stuff for the more difficult events in this game. But that's going to be all from me today. I wish you all a great weekend, great KVK, which is starting in a couple of hours, and yeah, take care guys, bye bye.